Are you constantly running to the bathroom, wondering why it feels like your bladder is spasming? Do you sit a lot during the day, like this guy does? Are you dealing with hip or back pain? Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa, and today we have a special guest. My boyfriend, Achille, is gonna be joining us to go over 3 exercises that really focus on relaxing your pelvic floor and opening up those hips. His are so tight. All right, go grab your mats and let's do this. All right, before we get started, if you happen to have a yoga block or some pillows, go ahead and grab those, and then we'll just jump right into it. So I'm gonna have Achilles start laying on his back, and you can take your pillow or your block, and you're just gonna take it underneath your low back, just below belt line area. It's right under your sacrum, that triangle bone. And it should feel very comfortable and supportive. You might need to play with moving it up or down just a little bit. And then I'm gonna have you gently bring your knees in towards your chest. You're gonna place your hands on the inside of those knees and just gently pull away. You're not like trying to do like 125%, but just a gentle stretch in the inner thighs. And then the most important thing is gonna be your breath. Inhale, breathing out to the sides of your rib cage, and then exhale, let it go. So we're really trying to soften here. And if you're continuing to have more questions about breathing, you can go ahead and check out this video here. But the breath is the most important piece. So each exercise we'll do for about a minute, and just learning that every body is different and they struggle with different things. And what are some things that you've been struggling with, Achille?
So since I work from home and I spend a lot of time behind my computer, in addition to the fact that when I lift, I like to lift heavy, and I don't do my breathing properly when I lift. Even though she tells me to, I still don't. And then you add on the fact that I have naturally tight hips. I find myself having to go to the bathroom a lot more than I would like to. So since I've been doing these exercises, and I do them daily, I've realized it's actually helped me immensely.
So good job. Okay, we're gonna continue just a couple more breaths here. So breathe out to the sides of your rib cage. Just very gentle. As you breathe in, that breath is gonna go down. You might feel a little pressure against your lower abdomen, pelvic floor, and then exhale, just let it go. Good. Let's take one more breath in here, and you'll find those inner thighs start to open up a little bit and soften. Great. Gently bring those legs back together. And then you're gonna place your feet back down on the ground and take the block out from underneath. So the next one we're gonna do, it's like a squat position. I have another modification if you're like, oh, absolutely not. So you wanna come into that squat that you like to do. So coming down into a squat, you can place those arms on the inside of your knees just to gently go out towards the side. And you're breathing into this one. Now, if you've got those blocks, sometimes he finds it helpful to stack the blocks up and then sit down. It gives you a little bit more support so you can gently open up those legs. And still, this is a really big stretch. If this is too much, let me show you the next one. But if this feels comfortable, continue to stay here working on that breath, opening up into the sides. Exhale, let it go.
So for those of you that are tight, that don't have the range of motion, the blocks are the jam.
All right, let's show the other modification. If this feels great, stay here, but come onto your back. And we're gonna come into happy baby pose. So you'll lay all the way down, bring one knee in towards your chest. You're gonna grab the outside of that foot, and you're working on taking that knee down towards your armpit. If this is like, ooh, really big stretch, you can also grab behind the back of your knee and do the same thing. It's not about how far you can stretch into it. It's using your breath to ease and open up these hips, and just gently breathing out to the side. Good job. So just taking a couple gentle breaths. If you're doing one side versus the other, or if you're in that squat position, is there one side that feels a little tighter than the other side? Good, you can switch. What are you noticing as your breath? Can you keep feeling those hips open up? Are you feeling anything in your pelvic floor muscles? It's that softening that we're looking for. A lot of times people think it's because their pelvic floor muscles are too weak and they do tons and tons of strengthening exercise, but they're actually too tight. And if you have some more questions on that, you might find this video helpful. All right, wherever you're at, let's take one more breath. And then we're gonna go to his favorite exercise. I do catch him doing this one in our gym. All right, next one, you're gonna come up into a kneeling position. You can take your right leg out in front at first. Good. And you're taking that left hip and thinking of tucking your left hip underneath. And then that right knee wants to go forward over your toes. And just check to make sure you're not gripping your toes too tight. Soften your toes, use your breath, ease into it. Again, if you have those blocks, your pillows, maybe you find it helpful to press down into those. And the same thing, you're kind of thinking of opening up those hips, spreading those legs. Nice, gentle breath in. Exhale, let it go. And it's all about trying to soften and ease your way into it using your breath. He likes to usually go like 200% at everything. So I usually have to breathe, soften. Okay, the next one you can add on, trunk rotation, is really important, especially if we've been behind our desks, to get that diaphragm going. So you can just take one arm, rotate, lift one arm up towards the sky, and focus right along that rib cage. And then bring that hand back down. And then you're gonna switch to the other side. Lift that arm up, use your breath. I'm getting out of the way. Okay, let's switch one more time each side. Keep thinking, open those hips, rotate, use your breath. Good, and then bring that back down, rotate, lift up. And remember how this side is feeling, because we're gonna compare it to the other side. Good, bring that back down. And then let's just switch. So we'll bring that right leg back, left leg comes out in front. And then set yourself up first. So we're taking your right hip, tuck that right hip underneath. The left knee is gonna come forward. Try not to arch too much through that back. Use your breath so you feel that good stretch. Breathing into it. It's all about listening to your body and what works best. So we'll take a couple breaths here and then we'll go back to adding in that rotation piece. And we're thinking as we're breathing, that diaphragm comes all the way down. That's where you'll feel that little bit of pressure. Exhale, the diaphragm comes back up. All right, let's take that right arm. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, lift that left arm, rotate from your rib cage. Nice job. And then bring it back down. Good, that right arm comes up, open up. Bring it back down. I know these exercises really do help him, like he mentioned, because I see him doing them and I'm like, yes. Bring it back down. Awesome job. Good. And then switch. All right, and then just come on out of that. And we'll just find comfortable seated position. And then keep coming back to your breathing, out to the side. That is the most important part of this. So he tells you he does not like to breathe. All right, awesome job with those exercises. Way to go. Thank you, Achille, for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It helps share this video with other people looking for similar information. And if you're wanting to learn more about building a strong core and pelvic floor to help with back or hip pain or having to run to the bathroom all the time, go ahead and check out the description box down below for other ways that we can work together. Keep up the good work. Until next time, namaste.